So, good morning. Most of you know me, some of you don't. For those who don't know me, my name is Captain Steve Rogers, and my friends, which I don't have any, call me Ashutosh Shah. So, in last video of mine, I told you about how China is able to bully us and many other countries. But do you know from where did they derive so much power and guts to bully us and even America? So let me tell you about this. From last past year, China has attacked us in many ways. First with the COVID-19, or we can say the China virus, and again they killed our Jawan. For to be specific, around 42. So and after that, they also sent us the faulty instrument. And nevertheless, breaking all the sense of humanity. They increases the price of the raw material from which we are able to produce the medicine, and we have to pay $1 billion to China just only to save the life of the countrymen. So at that very point, our Prime Minister decided to become self-reliant or Atmanirbhar in the sense of economy and as a country whole. So today we are standing on the date of 2021. So what are we doing in this path, or how are we going to build this economy of our into a self-reliant one, and we can say the Atmanirbhar one. China was a very poor country, and 88% of its population were in poverty. This is because of the Maoism. Maoism was a failed culture in China and ended up killing millions of people. That is why the historical decision was taken, and the Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping, to be specific, was the president of the China at that time. In the year 1979, he invited several companies to set up manufacturing units in China and also establish SEZs so that companies from the foreign can do their business more conveniently and easily. People, let me tell you about SEG. SEG is nothing but a part of a country in which the rule and taxes are not followed in that manner in which other countries have to follow it. This is basically established because of the business convenient and attract or lure a lot of foreign companies in the Chinese, which help them to grow infrastructure, and they can provide employment to everyone. But things started to change when in 2016 Trump became the president and waged something called the trade war, in which he started to levy a heavy taxes and tariff on Chinese imports. So that China company started faces to loss. In return, we all know that China also increases its import duties on US products and companies. We all know that every action has equal and opposite reaction, so that US company also started to facing loss, and there were a hectic situation in the world economy, which leads to shutting down of many companies, and even giants like Tesla and Apple were facing a lot of disturbance, and it leads to sabotage their convenient in the business, as because trade war is something which is infamous in the sense that nowadays country will not let their war on the battlefield. They will decide to beat you and hammer you in the game of economy, so that you can never be grow up as a strong country as you were before starting the trade. Because of this trade war, the American company already started to look for an alternative like China and Vietnam, from where they can get a cheap labor. Mark my words, people, cheap labor is the ingredient of the growing company or the $1 billion company. And this is when the pandemic happened, and all hopes of better economy and the world economy get also trashed. And this is when India wants to become the Atmanirbhar. Now we all know that India was and will be the best alternative of China, and pandemic, trade war compel the companies to think so. And this is when BJP government plays master stroke scheme called PLI scheme, which stands for Production Link Incentive Scheme, which will invite electronic manufacturing worth 11.5 lakhs crore and 12 lakhs to India, and help helps India to grow. And we all know that if the companies from outside come, it will give jobs, it will enhance infrastructure, this. We all know these basic things. Besides understanding these giants number, allow me to tell you a simple fact. Look, people, when a company decides to move a production plant or the production setup, they often hesitate. That is why the government announces different scheme wherein the government will give out some benefits to these giant companies. Example, let's think about Samsung. What if Samsung want to shift their production plant and production setup from China to India? What will the atrocities they have to face? First, they have to bring all those heavy machineries, and in course of doing so, basically the Indian government will charge so much import duties and taxes on these machines. But in the scheme of PLI, these taxes will not be the part of the cost, and it will help to reduce the prices of the Samsung mobiles and other accessories of Samsung, which help to increase our living of standard. And not to mention that Samsung is working in India, and it will provide jobs to the people of country, which help to improve the GDP of our country, and the unemployment rate will fall down drastically. So people, this establishes the win-win situation for everyone. We as an Indian get job, government will incur taxes in the coming future, and they can grow their profit ratio by a huge amount, and Samsung can do their business easily in India and also effectively. And in support of central government, UP government has also make some parts of their states into SEGs, and they are also trying to lure and attract as many international companies into the state of UP. So the people, this PLI scheme is not only supporting the international companies, but it also supports the Indian homemade companies like Lava, Micromax, who has been thrown out from the mobile manufacturing companies for last I can't even remember the last phone I have seen of Micromax. So definitely this PLI scheme will boost our Indian companies also. Cherry on the top, that the Tata Sons, that great man Ratan Tata, is also involving in this business, and they are about to invest 11,000 crore rupees in the state of Tamil Nadu, in which they basically focusing on developing the mobile manufacturing units, and just like China, they will produce it at a cheap rate with the help of cheap labor of India, and this will definitely gonna boost our economy on a larger basis. So people, we all know that port cities like Kolkata, Chennai, Maharashtra have a unfair advantage over other countries. As they are situated near the sea, they can grow their economy by levying taxes on the exports from outside the countries. But what about the cities which are landlocked? So the PLI scheme will definitely help us in developing those tier 2 or tier 3 cities, as the central government is planning to attract these companies into the tier 2 or tier 3 cities like Patna and Varanasi, where they can establish their manufacturing unit and provide job to the people who are situated in those cities. And because of the underdeveloped situation, they have to move out to the big cities. So the PLI scheme will definitely help in this way, as the international companies will set up their manufacturing units in the cities which I have mentioned, which is basically known as tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And the people of those cities will definitely get job and help their family to improve their living of standard, and finally they will help in boosting our economy, as they will earn, they will pay taxes, and it will lead to increase of our gross domestic product rate. And definitely by the help of this PLI scheme and other government scheme, our economy will going to be a self-reliant and Atmanirbhar in coming year. And yes, we can face the China by this robust plan, which lead our economy to be a robust one. Thank you everyone. Why has China also always been ahead of India for around last 4 decades? So let's go back to the late 60s when the technology revolution was on the move